Good evening. And we are mimicking for this one exactly what has been happening during the readings of late, that we, the guides, as she would put it, grab her and pull her looking a bit up to the left and upwards so that she can instantly tell the difference between a loved one in spirit who has come in to connect with their loved one here on the earth plane, and, as we put it in the readings, the guides. Why do we put it that way? For those who speak during a session, the guides are a combination of the so-called team of this one, who you would recognize with the name Sanaya, and the guides of that one sitting with this one. The two teams, as it were, blended into one team for the purpose of healing, of delivering messages, of information, which the soul of the sitter already knows, but has not yet filtered down into the human awareness. And so we use the term the guides are imparting information. And it is so very human for the human to say, "Can you tell me their name?" And we tell you, we, just as you are light. You are beings of light, but you cannot see it. Could you but see it, you would see yourselves sparkling as we do, like fireflies here in this room. You sparkle. This one was having a bit of a challenge at first, connecting only in the first few moments, until we gave her the visual of that shaft of light, which we always guide her to imagine. And we invite you to do the same in your meditations, to imagine a beam of light coming down from the heavens, surrounding the physical body and anchoring you into the center of the earth. But this evening, inside that shaft of light, we wished her to imagine, as we advise you to imagine, seeing light like dust motes in a sunbeam. Can you picture this? But picture it not as you are sitting in it. We invited her to picture all of you as those dust motes. And with this imagery, the intention was clear, that you are all the same, that you are all lights. This one and all of you dissolving into the light. Can you feel the oneness in that? Can you feel the equality in that? No more physical body separating you. Yes, of course, as bits of light, there is still the inference of separation. And yet you understand that in your physical sciences you have learned that even light particles dissolve into waves, which dissolve into smaller particles which cannot be seen. And this is what you are a part of. You are the light. Can you feel the lift when we say this? It is because we are not speaking in scientific terms. We are trapped by your English language. You'll see how we feed this one concepts, and even then the English language causes a stalling, for the awareness of our message is clear. We can say you are light, and we are not speaking of a light bulb that turns on and off. How dry and boring. Let us say it again, and now we wish you to feel the truth in this statement. You are the light. And now feel it as you say these words to yourself. I am the light. And if we substitute then other equally powerful words for light, you will understand now the vibration, why it feels so good to you. You are love. I am love. I am the light. I am light. I am source energy. I am that. All of these you would understand as synonyms for that which you are, which cannot be put into words. And yet, as you hear these words, which for now is our principal way of communicating with you, you feel the vibration of these words. Take a moment and feel our silent transmission of this same energy. Tune into your heart and feel it as it snows down upon you. Those of you sensitive to energy would have felt a bit of a lift in the heart during that momentary pause in verbal communication, for we are here, and we are real, and we are beings, but beings of light, at a vibration higher than your electromagnetic spectrum that is visible to the human eye can detect. Perhaps not stated as best in the English language as it could, but you get our drift, do you not? We are here physically, as you would understand it, in this room with us. Some of you can see us taking a bit of form behind this one. And yet, we are amongst you as well, the guides. The team of this one and your team of guides. You come here this evening to hear the team of this one, but we wish to tell you, you did not walk in that door alone. You never walk alone. You walk with your guides. Acknowledge them, please. They work quite hard to keep you out of trouble. They are there, waiting for you to acknowledge them, those moments of finding things that were lost, of knowing things that you don't know how you know them. You take credit for your thoughts, but so many times it is your guides who put the thought in your head. Open that book at random. There is magic awaiting you. Much of your magic comes from this guidance. Much of the magic comes when a bit of this dream is allowed to be made clear to you, the dreamlike nature of it. We do not wish to harp on the fact that this reality is an illusion. Many of you read this and you say, how can that be when it is so solid to us? But at times is it not very dreamlike? And we wish to tell you that each level of so-called reality is as a dream. And you will awaken from this dream and look back upon it and shake your head and say, but it seemed so real. And it is real. Your dreams are real, are they not? And they cause real emotions within the physical body. That is how it works. But that is also why, when there is a great lesson to be learned, your laws of physics can be set aside. It is rare, but it does happen. And when it does, we ask you not to be frightened, but to celebrate the sudden appearance out of nowhere of a coin to remind you that a loved one is around, even though they may have passed. The sudden appearance of a feather dropping out of the sky when no bird has passed overhead. The laws of physics set aside. Once again, be aware of these signs. Divine messengers are they, that you are part of multiple realities, and you are divine. And so we have intimated that we would speak a bit about forgiveness this evening, and it is always a worthy topic to which to return, for it is one of the greatest lessons that humans can learn. But the challenge is that it is nigh unto impossible to find forgiveness when you do not realize that there are multiple levels of reality. If this were the only level, then there would be no way of explaining or forgiving why some people hurt others so badly. But when you realize there is a greater reality and that you come here to learn lessons, and the human body is so perfectly designed that you are not able to sense a greater reality until a certain point in your life when that will become part of your lessons. As you come to know this, then forgiveness becomes quite easy. Until that point, why the human puts up a wall and says that behavior is unacceptable. We are not condoning harmful, hurtful behavior. Many cases will remain unacceptable, but when you can rise above and look down upon the interactions, from that level can you understand at least how and why they happened. They happen out of ignorance. Ignorance of what? That you are the light. That all of you are light beings. That it is the light that animates you. That it is the light that gives you life. That light is life. Can you imagine knowing this from a soul level and doing harm to another, even a tree? It is impossible. And therefore, when you read your headlines or you think back upon a family member who did you harm, can you see how they could not possibly have known, I am the light? That is what the human is here to learn, to forgive the ignorance, the darkness. And with that knowing comes compassion. It is impossible not to feel compassion for one who lives in darkness of this fact. Once you have felt the light that breathes you, the love that breathes you, the source that flows through you, the love that you are, why it becomes impossible to judge another from that level. But you are human, and you will slip back into your roles even after knowing you are the light. And you will feel that dissonant energy coming from within. Oh my goodness, I put on the costume and believed it. I have hurt another. It happens. Forgive yourself as well for being human. You are here to learn. You make mistakes. Some call it sin. This word carries such a heavy vibration. At the higher level, you do see these mistakes as actions deriving from ignorance of who you are. It is quite simple then to forgive the darkness, not necessarily the act. Do you understand? And it only takes a moment once you come to this awareness, once you arise to the higher level. Can you forgive yourself for not knowing who you were? And even if you do know you are the light and you make a transgression, can you then say, I forgot temporarily. I never again wish to impart that kind of pain on another. I have learned my lesson. In that there is forgiveness. You are here to learn these lessons, and they are hard-earned. We are aware of that. That is why you will never, ever feel judgment from your team, for they understand the role you are playing, and they are here to help you rise above, to help you ascend. That is the true meaning of ascension. You are not going anywhere. You are shifting your awareness and your viewpoint. Life lessons, that is what this team has come to this one to share with you. And we are grateful that you have the patience to listen to us again and again. Is there one of you here this evening with a question for us? We would be delighted to answer.
Thank you, Sanaya. Are our ancestors interested and willing to help us learn more about family histories and genealogy?
Most definitely. Although we are quite often reminding you to stay present, to not think about the past and the future, that is quite different than studying your ancestral lineage. There is much to be learned there. Not only are mistakes in the past passed down genetically, and this explains certain illnesses that arise even in one who was always pure of heart. Do you understand that? It is in the so-called genes from past thinking gone awry. It is, in fact, the thoughts that cause illness in the physical body. And so this is but one way in which it is advantageous to look into the past, but also to learn lessons of love that have been passed down, or lessons of non-love that have been passed down. Always to learn, for is this not the Earth School? And so, of course, while it is beneficial to remain in the now as it is taught, for this reason, diving into the past is to be promoted. We thank you for that question. Is there another?
Okay. When we leave Earth School of Life, do the spirits get recycled, or could we stay on the other side?
Does the spirit get recycled, or can you stay? How many of you have said, I wanted to graduate with honors, I am not going back? We wish you to see the soul. This one most recently was given the teaching to see the soul as you would understand it. And we are trying to give her another word, but there is no other word than disco ball, with many facets. You can picture this perhaps. One of your chandeliers perhaps, with many lenses. The soul projects many lifetimes at once. Your soul. You are so accustomed to saying my soul, the soul, thinking it is a 1-to-1 ratio, but in this you err. The soul is also in a learning environment. The soul, like that disco ball chandelier light, projects beings of light that become you and other beings in multi-dimensional realities, but many of those in Earth School. We will not get into the discussion of linear time, multiple simultaneous lives, or past, present, and future. We only wish to tell you that each lifetime offers different opportunities for different lessons. Perhaps this lifetime will focus on forgiveness. Perhaps this lifetime will focus on patience. Perhaps, and you get our drift once again. We understand quite well how tiring, how distressing, how challenging it can be in Earth School. Many members of your team of guides have been through this grinder, so to speak, and have gotten to a point that they no longer are coming back to live a physical body lifetime. However, they are still very much attached to you and still part of it. We are showing this one, the imagery that we gave before of your guides and it is not exactly like this. But they do look upon you and say, oh, they are going to make that choice again, not a good choice. Do not do that. You understand you are always being watched, and we will reach out when you are about to make a very challenging decision, one that will result in pain. We do try at times to get your attention, but at other times we step back, for only can you learn from pain in some instances. We are digressing from answering your question. This we are aware of, but we wish you to know that your greatest lessons come from your greatest challenges. And this is the point, that once you have passed to the other side and had enough time to process and learn from your life review, seeing each of your choices played out as if in a movie, and seeing the results of those choices, after you have rested a while, and the goal is, of course, always the evolution of the soul, then a time for choice comes along. Have those lessons been fully fleshed out? And if not, then it is time to have another lifetime in the flesh. And so it is willingly that the soul projects into another body to fully learn the lessons. Many of you now, if asked, what is your greatest life lesson? You would know what it is, and please do not tell us it is your partner. We are learning humor as well. And so, notice what your greatest life lesson is. Have you learned it fully? If you are tired of this merry-go-round and you wish to get off, learn your forgiveness now. Give it and receive it. Act with patience. Judge no one. Be fully the light that you are. And perhaps you will join your team and be a guide, instead of putting on a human costume. That is how it works. You must earn each level of the soul's evolution. It is, in fact, quite fair. When one goes to the other side, and it seems as if there has been no so-called retribution for acts of cruelty, hear us well. Those lessons will be learned in one way or another. It is called cause and effect. The soul is here to learn. The soul continues learning on the other side. Learning what? That love is the basis of all that is. That love is your essence. That light conquers all. That all is light, yet as long as there is still darkness in any of the realms, lessons and learning and recycling will occur. Learn your lessons well while you can. Love with all of your heart. Forgive with all of your heart. Give and serve until you truly know, I am the light. Can you feel that? Your soul knows this well. When that filters down fully into your human awareness, and you could no longer even imagine saying a low vibratory word about another, then you know. That is the goal. We love you so. Your team is in love with you. You have always been loved. It is only humans in darkness who have not shown that to each other. Feel compassion for those who live in darkness and be the light you are. we bid you good night.